my journey.
Sorry, I'm just recording this.
Okay, sure. So it's a long story, but I will try to make it very, very brief. So it's all started when I was in medical school, and I have a lot of questions in my head. Why is it that we were just trained to treat symptoms most of the time? Why is it that we were just trained to prescribe a pharmaceutical medicine most of the time? Why is it that we depend too much on laboratory machines made in China most of the time? So I had a lot of aha moments and a lot of realizations when I was in medical school, that after I finished medical school, I felt like doing something else. And then, so it led me to this path of, I would say, the less traveled road of medicine, a path of uncovering the deeper level of truth. What is disease and what really are the conditions for healing to happen? Why does disease happen in the body? So, and then I went into training into integrative medicine in the US after I finished medical school. And then I came back way back 2004 to set up Wellnessland.
Where in the US did you study integrative medicine? I think I missed this.
In Nevada. So I first finished medical school at the University of the Philippines College of Medicine in 1999. And then after that, I didn't like to specialize by spare part, like the nose, ENT, or the eyes, ophthalmologists. I was not comfortable. I was comfortable with what is the whole, because my belief then was the whole is always perfect and the part is always imperfect. It's nice to look at the parts. It's nice to treat the parts, but let us not forget the whole. So something like that. So yeah, then I set up Wellnessland. First it started as a small clinic, and then it became, now we are integrated and we continue to grow. Of course, we paused during the pandemic. Everybody paused during the pandemic, but it led us also to other avenues to grow as an organization. So we have ongoing projects now in Palawan, in San Fernando, and in Busay. So Wellnessland is a place where people could come and just be themselves, and it's also a clinic at the same time, but it's not the usual clinic that you get it's not the usual clinic. People come just to be, they don't fear coming to us. There is no fear because we always impart on them the bottom line root causes of diseases. So we are basically more of educational. That's why we produce a lot of educational materials. We have books, actually. I have authored and co-authored 7 books already. So,
7 books. Wow. Yeah. So we'll talk about transformation medicine, which is what I picked up last time I was there. But thank you for introducing the center and for opening it, actually, most of all. I just want to give a little background for those who haven't heard about my recent kind of health challenges and what drew me to reconnect with Doc Romy. So 2 months ago, right? So I came to you with a set of kind of test results from the hospital, and I came to you because I felt like what my doctor interpreting the test results wanted me to do didn't feel right, didn't sit right with me. And I think I was looking for some sort of confirmation or validation from you, because I knew deep down that I would receive a lot of pressure from family and from society to conform to the normal path. So basically my doctor had asked me to get a biopsy and prepare myself for surgery. And like none of that felt right. And so, sure enough, when I talked to Doc Romy the day after that, so that was February 8th, a little over 2 months ago, he kind of he supported my decision. So Doc, can you talk a little bit about that? Like, people come to you, we talked about how other than the medication, the treatment, the test, there's so much more involved in this process of healing, right? There's the whole, the outlook, right? Like you said, they come without fear. So that's such a big component already. Can you talked a little bit about how people come to you and So who goes to see you first of all? Yeah.
Yeah, since I'm a medical doctor, so a lot of patients come to us. They are really sick. Some come, they're not sick actually. They just want to talk to someone. But majority are really sick because of my medical background. So I'm known in the city as a doctor. Although we also do some retreats, programs, etc. So basically, when people come to us, we give them a different perspective.
Yes.
But in the context of, I am very familiar with the usual perspective.
Yes.
Because honestly, when I was in medical school, I am very fast in prescribing. You tell me the problem, I know what drug to write. Because in all humility, the subject that I got my highest grade in my school, in my alma mater, is actually pharmacology. So I'm very good at it before. And so I empower people to look at their disease in a different perspective. So I usually, my favorite explanation is I tell them, whatever is the label of you, the name of your disease, because a lot of people get scared. Doc, I was diagnosed to have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. What the heck is that? Doc, I was diagnosed to have systemic lupus erythematosus. Sus Mario Joseph, Doctor, ano ba yan? So there are many names of diseases, which I'm also very familiar because I'm a medical doctor. But in reality, fundamentally, we explain to our patients that something went wrong. There is a cause. There is a root cause. Before we treat the hypertension, there is a cause of hypertension. Before we treat the diabetes, there is a root cause of diabetes. But it's very tempting for us because that's all we were all conditioned to be like, to be straightforward in treating. Like, you have hypertension, then we give you a medicine. You have a diabetes, then we give you a medicine. But I noticed when I was in medical school, a lot of patients who have been historically, they've been diabetic for a long time. They've been hypertensive for a long time because they never focused on treating the root cause. They just focus on short-term approach. Of course, short-term approach is very easy. I just give you a drug, your blood pressure will go down. We can do that also if you're rushing. But I guarantee you tomorrow, if you forgot to take your medicine, the blood pressure will appear. But most people don't like to look upfront at the problem because of fear. So they don't like to have a heart attack. They don't like to see a high blood pressure that is 200 over 100, so they have to take a drug right away. Yes, it's okay to take the drug for that level of hypertension or blood pressure, but we remind our patients that they have to treat it long term.
Exactly.
Basically, I simplify the complicated because I came from a complicated background of education. So I simplify, I tell my patients, whatever is your disease, dalawa lang po ang dahilan. There are only two bottom line root causes of diseases, which is toxicity and deficiency. So in simple terms, what is toxicity? Toxicity means in English, something is there in your body that is not supposed to be there. In Tagalog, merong nandyan na wala dapat dyan. In Bisaya, dunay naa diha nga wala unta diha. The other root cause is deficiency, kulang. Something is not there that is supposed to be there, or it is there but not enough. Kulang. So when I tell people that, then they release their contraction. Because a lot of people come with a lot of contraction because they got diagnosed recently of cancer or whatever. In fact, in one of my books, I mentioned that labeling is actually a process of contracting people because the moment you get labeling, you have an ID now. Okay, for example, I do a biopsy or I do a test and then I declare, oh, you have a systemic lupus erythematosus. It's a contraction because the people will now, the patient will now Google or attend a lupus group, Facebook group. So one of my funny recommendation actually is, Mom, in your computer, maybe you have a lot of research already about your disease. Maybe you right click and delete.
That's amazing.
It's also vibration. But when I tell them whatever is the name, we can also, but whatever is the name, there are only two. There is toxicity, there is deficiency. Not only on a physical level, but also on an energetic level. For example, stress is energy toxicity, right? is there as a CT scan or an MRI or any executive panel test that will tell you your level of stress. Most of the time, let's say you do a bone scan or a CT scan or MRI, hindi naman sasabihin ng bone scan na, yung punong-puno ka ng stress, you are full of stress. No, the bone scan will tell you, no, that cancer is everywhere. Then people will contract more. So to me, curing and healing is different also. So we explain that also to patients. Because of my medical background, we can handle also their whatever pharmaceutical medicine they are taking, because I am licensed to prescribe those medicines. But deep in my heart, it's a short-term approach, not a long-term approach. Of course, it's somewhat a little bit controversial to talk about it, but there is a big difference between treating the symptom and treating the root cause. If you are the patient, it's very logical that you also need to treat the root cause of your problem, of your disease, because otherwise, even if you cut the tumor, it will reappear.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Even if you lower the blood pressure today, it will reappear.
Exactly. Oh, this is
Trying to tell you.
so glad. It sounds so simple, and yet we need to be reminded, because people aren't following. They like you said, they look for the complicated. Because the simple is difficult. Like
Yes.
it's difficult. Like in my case, I really felt like I was either gonna have to follow this. I love the detox and replenish, and that's been my guideline. Like every day, it's like, okay, I'm either detoxing or replenishing. So it's helped me so much. I feel like so much healthier than when I last saw you. I feel like my health has improved, but it's simple, but it's so difficult, right? Because we're always faced here in the Philippines, especially, people love carbs, rice, and then sweets. So you know, I have to keep reminding, it's discipline. It's so much discipline. It's willpower. But you know, when you're determined enough that you want to live and thrive, for me, it makes that decision much easier. So yeah, the kind of like the double-edged sword of the Band-Aid medicines is like we can't feel the pain strong enough, so we don't make that change.
That's right.
That's what's happening. So it's kind of like it's enabling. It's like enabling the disease. It's like the opposite. So I feel people need to know this.
Correct. Yeah, it's like a fear and pain avoidance cycle.
Yes. Yeah. And then it's a time bomb, in other words. So I mean, that's so just that is so powerful. Like I feel people need to take that at home with them, because in my community, that, like you said, diabetes, high blood, it's so common. And people kind of like, it's maintenance medicine, meaning to say they maintain, and then they don't have that opportunity because they're used to the discomfort of the maintenance. So they're not going to go and do the deep digging. That's so painful. That's so difficult. That's so scary. That takes so much courage. But that's necessary to have a true, profound, like you said, healing on all the levels, not only physical, but energetic, and for the disease not to reappear afterwards. So thank you for reminding all of that. I just want to welcome people, and if you guys have any questions, okay, they're just, oops, why is my, okay, Rue is saying hi, Rue from Manila. Hi, everybody. Okay, yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comment box, please. I'll try to look at my phone at the same time. But Doc, I want to talk about this book. Like I said, it's a really short book. It's available at Wellnessland Center on a donation gift basis, right? Can you explain that gift economy, and then we'll talk about the book?
Yeah, so almost a lot of our educational materials, because honestly, I also learn a lot from my patients, and I share it to other people. And it's our way of giving back to the community is to offer a lot of our educational materials and services under a gift economy system. So I was inspired by the book of Charles Eisenstein. If you have read his book, Sacred Economy.
No.
Yeah.
I'll write it down.
capitalist economy. But in sacred economy. So I was inspired by that book and by the work of Charles Eisen, I think this, if I pronounce it right, Eisenstein.
Eisenstein.
Yeah. So gift economy means there is no, it's like an exchange. Or so we offer you a gift. It's up to you how you value that gift. If you think it's worth a banana, then you can leave a banana. If you think it's worth nothing, just grab it. No problem. There is no camera overlooking where we put all our books. Just take it. In fact, I gave a talk to around maybe 100 people in a slum area in Bangkal, Lapu-Lapu just several days ago. We brought the Bisaya version of one of my books. The title is Your Own Best Doctor Is You, but in Bisaya. So we gave it away.
Nice.
Bisaya, so that they could see. So gift economy means there is no agreed price, just whatever you think, you know.
And if you think it's worth 1,000,000 pesos, you can make a donation.
Yeah, honestly, if you ask me, if I will want to buy that book, it's worth more than the usual.
It's priceless. Yeah, I agree with you. It's priceless.
Because it talks about a deeper dimension of healing. One of the things that one of the fundamental concepts that we share is the most powerful medicine, in spite of my background in medicine, is not in a tablet or a capsule form. The most powerful medicine is transformation, because every disease that appears in our body is just an invitation for us to transform on all levels, on a lot of levels.
Oh my gosh, I feel that so deeply.
Very powerful medicine. So basically, this is the book, Transformation Medicine. And the fastest healing, because a lot of patients who come to us, especially the cancer patients, stage 4, doc, bilisan natin, doctor, stage 4, wala na right pa stage 5. So, oh my God, and the patient is rushing, and then I tell them, no, in fact, what I would recommend is the opposite. Rather than rushing, looking for the magic drug there, magic sagbot there, magic herbal there, whatever. Why don't you slow down? Listen to the deep intelligence of your body. There's a difference between intellect and intelligence. I learned this from Sadhguru, the one you can see.
Hi, Sadhguru.
I attended his inner engineering program in Hong Kong way back 2017. It's a 4-day program. It's a very powerful program. He was the one who facilitated himself. So I'm a big fan of Sadhguru.
What a blessing.
I've read a lot of his books. Yeah. And so he differentiated between intellect and intelligence. Intellect is something that we gather in a book, in a seminar, something like that. Intelligence is something that is already there, but you were not paying attention. So, for example, for us doctors, with all due respect to the medical profession, but because of the voluminous amount of information that we have to accumulate during our medical school days, we have become intellectuals. So you notice our name has become long. I used to have a name Romy, and then it became Romy MD, and then FP. Like my wife, I joke my wife is a very long name because she's a specialist in radiology. So very long dugtong ng There's nothing wrong about that, for as long as we don't get identified with it. So knowledge is something that we gather. Wisdom is something that we have to pay attention and remember. So intelligence is very powerful, because to me, a disease, whatever it is, whether it's a simple fever or a complicated cancer, is actually not there to harm you. It is actually you. So the fastest healing, Windy, this is what I figured out with dealing with thousands of patients since I became a doctor in 1999. The fastest healing, if you are really looking for a fast healing, the fastest healing is a healing of perception. Because when you heal your perceptions, problems actually resolve. Yeah.
Wow. Mic drop. That's beautiful, Doc. Thank you. I really, really want to agree with you about, or want to emphasize that the illness is not there. Like everyone's like, like fight cancer, fight whatever. But like you said, it's an invitation to go within.
Correct.
Like it's a message to say like, hey, there's something you haven't been looking at that you need to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
The word fighting cancer, to me, is a misconception.
Yeah, same. Oh my gosh. Yeah, same. So I've been in meditation and deep, because what, like you said, don't rush, because when I got my results from the radiologist actually, and my doctor was like, okay, she was rushing me, right? And again, I have no judgment, and I'm grateful to her for her work, but she was like, you have to do this ASAP, don't wait, get the biopsy, get the this. And I was like, the rush felt like I could feel that the fear was just so potent in my body, and I could connect to all of the people who received these kinds of test results. And if you don't have the meditation practice, the energy background work, like it's so destabilizing. Of course, you're gonna sell all your properties and your kid's kidney and all this just to get this thing done. So it was such a it gave me so much empathy. It gave me so much humility. It gave me so much compassion for people who don't know they have other options, right? And then I was able to go and actually talk to what was happening in my body, and not be like, you're the enemy, I'm going to fight you, at all costs. It was more like, hey, why are you here? Like, what are you telling? What do I need to look at? And so you've heard, Doc, about Theta Healing maybe?
Yes.
So I asked one of my friends who's a kind of an advanced Theta healer to help me, because it's hard to see ourselves, right? Even if we're healers, it's like sometimes it's really, we have a lot of blind spots. And so I asked her to look inside to help me. And then she said that there was a lot of I wrote this in my blog post the other day. She felt that there was a lot of grief and sadness that hadn't been processed related to motherhood. And I knew instantly what it was about. I knew that it wasn't about my own mother, but it was about my transitioning into motherhood without the proper tools, without the proper support, and the fact that I was given antidepressant medication that just like covered it up very, very powerfully, like a huge 10-ton, cement slab covering it up. And then I went on with my life. But the grief hadn't been processed, the sadness, the letting go of my maidenhood, the being away from my family at an important time, very important time, like being a new mother, like all of that had to be dealt with and looked at. So, and if I had just had the surgery, you know what I mean? Like, of course, that grief would have been gone somewhere else, right? So I'm so grateful, first of all, to you for supporting me and making me feel safe in listening to my body, which was because my body was clear, like, no, and then of course my mind's going to be like, yeah, maybe you should listen to, the experts or whatever. And then my body kept saying, no, you're the only expert on your own body. Like, who's that person going to say, So I really, really feel what you're saying. And I really encourage people to be brave enough to go within and see what's the message of their illness, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's diabetes. There's so much to uncover. And it might be what makes us more powerful and limitless and healthy and vibrant as we age, actually. That's what I'll be 50 next year. And I feel like, wow, I might be in a whole new level of health as a result of this thing that I've been going through. Yeah.
Yeah, a disease is just a message after it.
Yes.
Either we listen to intellect or we listen to intelligence. Either we follow the knowledge or we follow the wisdom. Now let's look at the truth. There are more hypertension today than ever before. in spite of the advances in medicine. There are more cancer today than ever before. There are more people undergoing dialysis today than ever before. One time I gave a talk to around 500 people in Marina several years ago, near Pierre. It's a group of senior citizens of Cebu, around 500 silang lahat yan. And then I told them, can you please everybody stand? And then I told the audience, yung mga high blood po, umupo, the half sat down. Yung mga diabetes, umupo, another one half sat down. So that's how common it is. Yung mga may naiwan pa konti na nakatayo, and then I asked them, yung mga may kilala na may high blood at diabetes,
Wala nang na.
make them all sit. And then I asked again, yung mga may iniinom na gamot, tumayo. 90% tumayo kasi senior citizen eh. My lolo, lumaki kasi ako I grew up in the province in Ilocos. So my grandparents, my grandfather, my grandmother, all of them were drug free until they reached na late 90s to early to mga 100. So yun ang ano. So anong kinakain nila? Ano lang, saluyot. Wala pang wifi noon, wala pang Facebook noon. So I think it's going back to simplicity. So disease is a wisdom that the body, which is divinely designed, is just talking to us.
Yes.
So all we need to do,
conversation starter.
yes, all we have to do is pay attention.
Yes. Yes.
Hindi yung, oh my God, my blood pressure is too high. Give me a drop.
Yeah.
Linuloko ko rin yung pasyente na nagmamadali. I tell them, mamadali ko kayo? Okay, teka muna, i-adjust ko muna yung utak ko. I prescribe you a medicine. But honestly, ang totoong meaning talaga ng doctor, the true meaning of a doctor is come from the Greek word, docere, D-O-C-E-R-E. That's the root word for doctor. You know what it means? It actually means to teach. But I remember those days in my school, in my alma mater in Manila, I was very fast in writing a medicine. Kasi magaling nga ako mag-memorize eh. Limaw, high blood, madali lang yan. Yo block, calci block, tera block, halo block.
Block.
The patient, inumin mo yan habang buhay. Dagdagan pa namin ng fear. Pag di ko minom, pag di ko minom, ka.
Oh my God.
Get me wrong, for the sake of, because this is live, Facebook, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to stop your maintenance medication. I'm telling people, pay attention to the disease message, to the message, treat the root cause.
Exactly.
They will come instead of your medication becoming more and more and more and more. It will become less
and less. Exactly.
Isn't it logical? Isn't it? It makes sense, right? If you're the patient, do you like more and more and more and more? You know, when it's more and more and more and more, it means the disease, the degree, the intensity of the disease is getting stronger. Yes, it's getting stronger. For example, if you're hypertension, if you're now taking 4 hypertensive medications, the intensity of your hypertension is signal number 4. So the message is, my message is treat the cause, pay attention to the body, change your lifestyle, change your diet. And
your mindset. Also.
And remember that we are not only what we eat. Okay, meron din kasi din na, you know, they really eat very, very healthy, but they're doing it with the wrong vibration. They do it out of fear. Or of kanang kapraningan. Sabi ko, huwag ka na lang mag-strict vegan, ma'am, kung naprapraning ka din, sabi ko sa pasyente.
Yes. Not only planning, doc, but parang judgment or superiority.
Yes, I met someone, somebody in Bulacan. I gave a talk there in Bulacan. She's a very strict vegan. And then lumapit siya sa akin. Then nakita ko siya na ayaw niya, she doesn't like to sit down in a dining table where people are not eating vegan. So,
yun ang constriction.
yes, I told her, With all due respect, ma'am, pero baka lalo ko magkakasakit niyan because
Sinabi mo.
the moment you see the world as two, it becomes very difficult. Of course, ganun talaga, di ba? It's very difficult to see the world as one because polarity naman talaga yung mind natin, di ba? I like you, I don't like you, good and bad. But when the sun rise, it shines everybody.
Yeah.
Yung the essence of the fragrance of the flower. If I'm a good boy and I smell it, mabango pa din.
Si
If I'm
Doc talaga.
mabango pa din. Meaning the flower do not know how to discriminate. It's our minds who continue to discriminate. Of course, it takes a lot of mindfulness, which you teach, and a lot of practice to see the world as one. But when you see the world as one, for example, when you see your body as one whole, then you don't have to fight cancer anymore. You don't have to fight.
Yon.
Even a cancer is not seeking to be fought. It is only seeking to be deeply understood.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Here, people are not given the chance, the opportunity to understand it because everybody's rushing. Oh my God, ma'am, kailangan ano lang, putulin agad yan. So nagmamadali. Ang problema, pag nagmamadali, there is no authentic transformation. So the disease will come back in another form. That's why I have seen patients, tinanggal yung right. And then after 3 years, bumalik. Ginawa niya lahat. Nag-diet, nag-herbal, nag-surgery, nag-chemo. Ginawa niya lahat. And then bumalik ulit. And then tinanggal ulit. And then na-declare cancer-free. And then after 3 years, bumalik ulit.
Yes.
So for example, wala naman siyang, wala ng breast. Tawag ko sa kanila, ma'am, wala ka ng toy. Dati toy, one toy, and now no more toy. Binibiro ko sila. Sometimes I'm a joker. So then the diagnosis is metastatic breast cancer in the lungs. Now the breast is in the lungs. Tumakbo.
The tumor. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. That's why that's when actually energy healing fits in. Because when we do energy work, the idea is that yes, you can remove the tumor, but the energetic imprint is there, meaning to say it needs to be, the emotions need to be felt, whether it's grief, whether it's resentment, whether it's so many, and sometimes it's ancestral stuff also. So that's when that's why holistic is really the way to go. Yeah.
Right. So it's all about vibration, Windy. I'm a big fan of Albert Einstein. E equals mc squared. E is the vibration, mc squared is the matter. So this body is also a vibration. You can remove this, remove that, but if the vibration is like this, the vibration of healing is like this. If the vibration is like this, and one way to inspire people also about eating less and less meat. Of course, we don't push them. We just tell them eat less. I have a joke to them. Have you seen a pig being slaughtered? Is he in joy? Is it in joy or in fear? So the vibration of a pig being slaughtered is like this. Of course, you can. So when people go into a healing process, we tell them that along the way, you also have to do something about your diet. Yeah, a lot of people who come to us are actually heavy meat eaters. But I don't tell them to go strict like this. I just tell them, okay, listen to your body, eat wide awake, conscious.
Yeah, that's nice.
If you want to, conscious eating. Although we have a small vegetarian canteen at our third floor, but a lot of our patients are not vegetarian actually. But we have inspired a lot of patients to go more into plant-based. Of course.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remind people that food has energy as well.
Yes, correct.
And so when we take on like that image of the pig being slaughtered is also something I refer to, because when we ingest that food, we're also taking on the energetic imprint. Lalo na yung mga very sensitive. And actually the idea is that the more we rid ourselves of what doesn't belong to us, the more sensitive we get, and the more we can actually make the right decisions for ourselves, right? That's why when I share the protocol that I'm doing at the moment, I also warn people that it's not for everybody, right? Because it's a very personal process. Like I feel like what's been happening with my health challenges is part of my life purpose and mission. So it's very, very personal, right? So I wouldn't necessarily tell everyone who has the same test results to, just do this, right? So yeah, part of that process is being sensitive to what we take in, the thoughts, the food, knowing that food is more than nutrition. That's why, when we drink cacao, we're not just drinking magnesium, we're also drinking, the heart chakra benefits that come with the energy imprint of it. So that's so important as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are what we eat, drink, breathe, think, say, and do. Holistic. It's not enough. We are what we eat. Yeah.
I was just checking, Doc, if there are any questions, but just people are like really enjoying, I think, our conversation. So I knew it would be so helpful and fruitful. And like I said, talking to you 2 months ago was so inspiring to me, and to share it even more, because so many people don't realize that they have this power to self-heal, right? And so, that's why I support your work, and whatever way we can collab. And actually, this is a good time to talk about your upcoming event, Doc, next week, no? Would you like to share about that?
We have an event next week, an introduction to transformation medicine, inner dance. My community in Palawan from Maya Earth Village is coming. There are 2 people coming.
Doc, can you share what inner dance is for people who aren't familiar?
Yeah. For inner dance is was founded by my co-author in the book Transformation Medicine.
Yeah, this one.
Yes. So it's he's the one who can really explain it well.
It's hard to explain because it's energy healing. Yeah.
Cannot be actually, my understanding of inner dance is it's not a concept, it's not a philosophy.
Okay.
It's not a procedure. It's actually a way of life. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a way of life. Yes, there's some process, but I have a lot of conversation here with Pai. And and I have a lot of inquisitive questions to him dati na. Pag humiga ako, kailangan ba akong mag-ingay or gumalaw? Hindi ako gumagalaw eh. Ano ba ako, dance? Ganun ako mag...
Yung intellect mo. Oh, no.
Ako, dance ba ako? Anyway, so, and then I finally got it. Na it's not about that. You can flow like that. No judgment, no problem. Yeah. But it's the deepest inner dance is actually when it becomes your way of life.
I love it. I mean, that's what I say about Reiki.
Example, kanina, it's my way of detox also. Kanina, I was so focused in cleaning the toilet. Sabi ko, yeah, he's cleaning the toilet before, 9:45 na. Windy. So I was so focused, but I was in the now.
Yeah.
I was in the now, and then I was observing my breathings. Because every day, whether I like it or not, I absorb a lot of fear. Because there are days na one from
All
one,
of us.
I work at 1:00, and then I end at mga 5. There are days na puro cancer patient yan, newly diagnosed.
Ay, ang lakas ng fear nila siguro.
Pa yung family members. So parang, there are even times na I have to excuse myself because I feel like crying because the whole family was there and it's so heavy. Mother, who's a breadwinner, is newly diagnosed and all of the children are in college and the breadwinner is stage 4. And then I feel the fear. And then I have to, sometimes I excuse me po, mag-CR lang po ako, but actually I go to the CR and cry and let my tears flow. Yes. And there are times I go home na lawit ang dila. Sabi ng wife ko, ano nangyari sa'yo? So anyway, that's why my morning is actually my way of, of trying to, to detoxify, so that in the afternoon I have something to share again.
Yeah.
Because I learned also my painful lessons in the past. I got sick.
Exactly.
I got sick, but I did not go through the usual diagnostic procedure.
Yes.
Because if I did, maybe I got so scared. Oh, ano kaya to? Because I had a sudden weight loss and everything many years ago. Yung pala, I was so. But anyway, what I did, just like you, I listened to my body.
Yes.
I slowed down.
Yes.
I was tempted to maybe I go through the usual and then I have a label and then I will Google what is the solution to my label, to my diagnosis. So what I did, I prescribed to myself. Number one is slow down.
Yes.
Because I have a tendency to do. Number two, do earthing, connect your feet to the ground. We are not on, that the body is composed of 5 elements. I learned this from Sadhguru. We are 72% water, 12% earth, 6% air, 4% fire, and the rest is space. Did I learn that in medical school? No. I learned there's 72% water, the rest we don't know. Yeah. So I have a lot of patients who shift their perspective and they heal very fast.
Yes.
And in the beginning, I also cannot understand because logically it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And then I ask myself with my logical mind, ano nangyari? Dapat patay na yan. Ano yan? Kaya kung minsan I have a joke to my patients na, uy, napalagi ka. You were told 6 years ago, but it's been 6 years, napalagi ka. And then, and I never tell to patients that I can cure them. Because there was one patient that Doc, I'm willing to pay everything only if you can guarantee you can cure me. Oh, it's very tempting, Mama. I'm tempted, but I told the patient, yeah, these are my actual experiences. That's why, and then every day actually, Windy, because I have this window of opportunity when people are in fear to go to the inside of people's minds, of people's hearts. Sometimes I don't like it because I feel what other people feel. But I learned to accept it, to that sometimes I feel what other people feel because it also heals me and it also transforms me. That's why I can easily lose something because I am in face to face with death and dying every day. In fact, I have a ref magnet at my office and nagpa-paint ako sa likod niya sa wife ko ng the word death. And then my wife asked me, at loko-loko ko talaga, ano na naman pinapasulat mo sa akin? Hindi, isulat mo lang death. Kasi every day I go to my office, I look at it. Because it's what I notice, especially cancer patients. The greatest obstacle to healing is fear.
Yeah. Especially fear of death.
Especially fear of death, which we all have. I'm not saying
Fear
I don't.
Death, fear of pain.
Yes.
So, no? Fear of pain.
Say I don't have. But it's before I have plenty, but now because of my work, it's becoming less and less and less and less and less. It's a process. It's a process. So inner dance, going back to inner dance, a way of life. It's a way of uncovering and unlayering all the layers we have created in our lifetime so that we remember who we truly are deep inside. Then we become more powerful, more intuitive human beings. It's not that we become lazy. I did not become lazy. I still do a lot of things. But I realized that whatever I do, if you have that sense of wholeness inside you, whatever you do, nothing will be added anymore. Nothing will be subtracted anymore. Whatever you do, it just becomes a beautiful manifestation of who you are becoming. So there's no more identification. So that's why I have this favorite calling card. Of course, I still do have the usual calling card, but I created my favorite calling card. My name is Romy Period. Yeah. Kasi kung minsan I have a lot of seminars, dami ko nang na-accumulate na mga, people give something. Lack of appreciation, ganyan-ganyan.
Yes. So
yes.
that's a way, I think that's a way of pushing away death. They add another layer of identification. You know what I mean?
Yes. Correct. Dying to our conditioning, dying to our programming, dying to our labels.
Exactly. To all those plaques of appreciation and like all those titles and certificates. It's like
They're nice for as long as there is no identification. There's nothing wrong with it. I still keep them in a
I
sack.
think I think
Sako na po yan. Sako, sa kwarto ko nalalagay ko lang sa sako.
the label sako.
I have the ceremony na, short lang na, before I put it in a sack, sabi ko, thank you for that.
Gratitude.
It's not me. I just put it.
Exactly.
And then I feel more free. I don't have that pressure that I need to perform. I can be who I am. I can, that's why my good friend Pais, because we're good friends, and then he knows me a lot. And then he said, Doc, you may not move a lot during inner dance, but actually you have been through inner dance in your day-to-day life.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah. But I'm like you, Doc. I don't move during inner dance. I'm like you.
Yeah.
Internal. It's internal.
Dati I have this, ano ba ako pa there's something wrong with me, no? I'm so dense.
Yeah, kasi yung iba like this, like that. So, not me, but that's fine.
It's not about the movement, actually.
No, it's not about the movement.
Some are very...
That's why it's called inner dance. It's inside.
Correct. But some really flow fluently, which is also okay.
Fine. That's also fine.
It's also okay. So, walang tama, walang mali, actually. Yeah.
So, Doc, it's like 10:47, and I told you I'd only take
45
bit of your time, 45 minutes. But thank you so much. I mean, I don't think we didn't really have any questions come up, just people in awe at the wisdom that you're sharing and from our conversation. So I'll just put a link to the website. What is the website? Wellnessland.
Wellnessland.org.
Wellnessland.org. You can get all the info on how to work with Doc Romy, how to get all his books, and there's a shop also with some natural food supplements, some of which that I've been using as well in my self-healing process. Doc, thank you so much. I'll see you very, very soon. And keep doing this amazing work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.